care if someone is wealthy. I care if someone is corrupt. Does that make sense?
Especially when they're a lawmaker.
Yeah, if they're a lawmaker or if they're a business lobbying lawmakers.
Yeah. You're making the rules. You don't get to cheat them.
Well, haven't you noticed that big banks support some form of socialism, right? Privatize profits, socialize losses. Haven't you noticed that the big tech companies, up until they saw where the winds were blowing in the last election, they support socialism. They're always pretty far left. It's almost like they can absorb the costs of all the red tape and bureaucracy, and they know the mom and pop businesses can't compete. For some reason, though, it's lost on a lot of folks. When you look at the Democrat voting base, it's those who don't pay income taxes and billionaires. Lower income to upper middle income to wealth, like all of that, that's the Republican base.
Yeah.
Non-contributors and oligarchs. Those two extremes vote consistently Democrat. So let's get to socialism and this idea of microlooting. Have you heard about this? Have you heard of microlooting? It's basically stealing with a new term, but
come on.
It's incompatible with the United States. So our ideals, like Adam Smith is someone, if you guys have had to read, Keynes, I think everyone should read Adam Smith. He wrote this. He wrote, "The property which every man has in his own labor as it is the original foundation of all other property. So it is the most sacred and inviolable." That's a very stark contrast to the other side, Karl Marx. The theory of the communists may be summed up in a single sentence: abolition of private property.
Right, and that's anti-Christian. So thou shalt not steal instituted private property rights. So anybody who wants to argue that Christianity is anything other than pro-private property needs to deal with, a commandment.
Right, and I just watched a film, it's some World War II movie where a biracial kid gets lost and jumps off a train, I don't know. And during the London Blitzkrieg, someone was on Apple TV, and there's a midget in a bunker who's like,
Did you catch that? So Crowder just set up two sentences. Adam Smith says your labor is your property. Whatever you make with your hands, your time, your effort, that's yours. It's sacred. It's inviolable. That's the foundation that built every functional economy on earth. Karl Marx says, abolish private property. Full stop. That's not a quote out of context. Crowder isn't being dramatic. And here's why he's running this contrast at the start of this segment, because you're about to see Hasan Piker and Gia Tolentino on New York Times podcast almost competing with each other who can steal better. And the irony is these two people are two millionaires. Have a listen.
Would you get around a paywall on an article you're trying to read?
Do it every day on my stream. Every day.
I support it when people do it for my own work. I say, go off. Use the Wayback Machine.
Would you pirate music from an indie band?
Is it 2005 and I'm using LimeWire? Because yes.
I feel like every millennial has at some point done this.
I feel like fundamentally Spotify is kind of like deleterious to the musician livelihood, and I use that. But then I go to the shows.
I'm pro piracy all the way, like across the board. Would you pirate a car? Yes. If you could, if one could pirate
a car,
it was just a classic thing back in the day where they'd be like, the government funded anti-piracy initiatives would be like, dude, would you steal a car? I'm like, yeah.
So the two ladies, even though they're in the same tribe with Hasan Piker, they look absolutely shocked. And I think Hasan only went there. He did go a bit far, but he only went there just to one-up this lady in sort of competing with her how he can steal better. So even though it sounds shocking and unsettling that he can even steal a car without any remorse, Hasan Piker is only being logically congruent. That's what people don't see. The left actually feels justified in stealing from an arbitrary target, and they can't define at which threshold you become the target, because it's all comparable. And he doesn't actually have a good argument as to why he shouldn't pirate a car. And so from that perspective, he's actually the only honest one here. And this is precisely why we can't let the left govern, because they feel self-righteous about taking from you through abstract layers of tax and big corporations. They always try to target, these big rich people, but actually they pay you. So if they take from the big corporations, like you're affected, your job's affected. That's what they don't highlight. I don't know if I think they're smart enough to know it, but they will never say it. So this is more of a revealing moment than a mere accident or a scandal. So Hasan Piker just proclaimed to the world exactly what he believes. And I hope this shock acts as a catalyst for the left. I hope more people wake up to it.
Because they view the world through, again, it's Marxism. Oppressor, oppressed. Champion, underdog. If you have more than them, and it's all a feeling, that's why the goalposts move. Oh, he has a $2.7 million house. She has a $2.2 million. Well, it's not millionaires anymore. It's billionaires. It's whoever has more than them. They don't count. They'll even tell you, well, I worked really hard and I earned this. Yeah, but you don't think anybody else should be able to. And when you were at a net worth of, let's say, 1.5, you believed in taking from people who had more than you. We have a very long track record of it. It's all based on feeling and entirely selfish motivations. And Hasan Piker, of course, is for piracy all around, as he said, until he gets caught.
Had a brush with the East India Trading Company, did we? Pirate? Hang him.
It's an old policy, but
Yeah. There's something to be said for tradition.
I like how she likes to virtue signal in a way that doesn't affect her at all. She's like, oh yeah, I even do it with my own work. You mean the work that you're paid by another company to do?
Right.
So it doesn't take money directly out of your pocket, but it takes money out of theirs?
Yeah.
what does she
Go
do?
by the
I don't know what she
description.
does.
What, she's a writer for what, the New York something or other? I didn't remember what it was.
I think she's a writer. She's not in the New York Times. Is she the New Yorker?
Go up just a little bit. I think we had like so the New Yorker.
That's right. She's a writer for the New Yorker.
Condé
So,
Nast.
yeah.
She's a millionaire from that?
I don't know. Maybe
That's crazy.
she married well as well. Who knows?
Good chance.
She's like, yeah. Go ahead and take that stuff that doesn't affect me at all. How about I just come take your stuff?
Yeah.
Then tell me if that's fine with you. If I just come take your actual stuff.
Yeah. Let me put it this way. We have to take out, like we said, big tech sort of oligarchs, right? Because huge businesses who have a huge budget and lobbying and relationships with those in government, they act out of their own selfish interest too, right? And they're too big to fail, so they benefit from those policies. They benefit from socialism as proposed by Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, right? BlackRock, too big to fail.
Yeah.
Think of anyone you know who's started a business in your life. Do you know anyone? Now, it could be a bodega, it could be a car shop, it could be a moderately successful business, some kind of a franchise. I own a few Jack in the Boxes. I don't know. Think of anyone you know who actually invested any of their own money, risked it, and started a business. Human capital, labor capital, okay? They are right-leaning, statistically. Doesn't that tell you something? It's always employees who benefit from those people. It's always people who are pretty successful, but not because they had skin in the game and risked it themselves, that are telling you it's okay to steal. Tolentino even detailed how she happily steals from Whole Foods, and it's okay because that guy at Whole Foods, before Bob, he was more right-leaning, so you got to steal.
But I did steal from Whole Foods on several occasions, like... I've been involved in like a neighborhood mutual aid
Whereas
group
the host
since
just
2021.
stole Whole
and so
Foods.
every week I would go get groceries for Miss Nancy, my now family friend who lived nearby, and she wanted to go to Whole Foods. She wanted food from Whole Foods, so I was like, okay, great. And so I'd be getting Miss Nancy all her groceries, and then I would finish and I'd be like, oh my God, 4 lemons. I forgot 4 lemons. And on several occasions I was like, I'm just gonna go back, grab those 4 lemons and get the hell out. And
You should go to prison.
I know. You think they're going to ban me?
I'm actually fine.
They should throw you in jail.
But I didn't feel bad
Going
about
to
it at
jail.
all.
And was part of
Now
it
to the Muslim
because
countries you
of
defend
how
where they
feel
cut
about
off
Whole
her
Foods as
hand.
a corporation.
Yeah, it already felt like a bit of a compromise. Like at the time, I was like, I had not been to Whole Foods. I had a bit more sort of consumer discipline about where I was spending my money then, and I already felt like I was in the hole even by shopping there, and it certainly felt in a utilitarian sense. I was like, this is not a big deal.
Well,
right, guys?
I'm pro stealing from big corporations because they steal quite a bit more from their own workers.
Well, she's a dirty, nasty thief, but at least she's a pretty girl.
I prefer sausage.
Keep them coming. There you go.
Oh,
Josh.
wow. Cha-ching, baby.
Gonna get
I just
arrested.
won again.
Isn't it interesting how they steal more from their workers? And I will tell you, like, I understand the pirating thing. I understand it, for example, like with Netflix or Amazon Prime. I'm not saying that it's justified, but I understand when they change the deal where, okay, you pay for a subscription and you get it ad-free. And they go, sorry, did we say that you're actually going to get ads and you have to buy a premium tier? And actually, if you buy that premium tier, you're still going to get ads, but you have to buy an extra premium tier. and you look at the kinds of golden parachutes that the CEOs get. I understand it. I think the solution is that you just don't buy their stuff, and they're going to have to change their business model. But isn't it interesting? He automatically assumes they steal from their workers. Well, what about the consumer? What about people who drive the economy? That's where I think that workers do get screwed. Sometimes I think consumers get screwed more often, especially if it's a huge corporation who benefits from the umbrella of protection under the government. But do you notice something that they always do? Like I said, the voting base, right, of the Democrat Party, anywhere from 40 to 47% any given year don't pay federal income taxes. Non-contributing zeros, let's be clear.
Yep.
Wow, that's terrifying.
Big tech oligarchs, they have these extreme ends of the bell curve. Their ideology, it follows the same way. Where he goes like, you should probably be put in jail, right? They believe there should either be no consequences whatsoever for stealing, or they say, you know what, you have to respect the culture of, I don't know, the Iranian regime, or Cuba, or Venezuela, where you actually are jailed, or any Islamic country where you actually may have your hand cut off for stealing an apple. And they act as though the completely unreasonable position is where all of you are in the middle, where if you steal, there should be consequences. We don't think you should have a vat of acid thrown in your face and be ceremoniously raped, as you see with the Iranian regime, but we do think if you steal, there should be consequences. They hopscotch that, defend the extreme worst, and justify all of it here. That reasonable, 20 to 80% of they just ignore. Well, those conservatives are hateful. Yeah, now defend the Islamic regimes. And by the way,
So Stephen Crowder put it beautifully. The same people like Hasan Piker and Tolentino, who would advocate for stealing with no consequence because it's quote-unquote protest, they're the same people who'll be defending the Islamic government, the Iranian regime, and Venezuela. And the audacity is unbelievable. And as I understand, Hasan Piker is getting a lot of backlash even from the left at the moment. So the question is this the moment normal people on the left finally see what they've been defending? Or does it get memory hold by Friday? Leave a comment down below and follow for more breakdowns like this one. I'll see you on the next one.